I am Fulu Makwetla, and I am the co-founder and managing director of Third Way Investment Partners. So I'll go all the way back to where it started at university, where I'd say I had no idea what venture capital or private equity was. In my first year, I thoroughly enjoyed economics and statistics, and I converted my degree to a BCom econometrics. From there onwards, I went on to do a graduate program at Liberty. The real opportunity came up for me to get into this industry when I worked for Rescuer, and there is where I got exposure to various asset classes, and that's pretty much where I started getting the feel for private equity. Following that, there was an opportunity to co-found the business that I now run, Third Way Investment Partners, with my partner John Oliphant, and basically we felt that we saw a gap in the market where we could basically be the resources that a large pension fund generally has and offer that to smaller pension funds in the market. We are a financial services provider, and there are specific guidelines and mandates around where we can invest. And so that is what informs our investment decisions. Our clients are institutional investors, and they are fiduciaries of retirement funds and really representing members' hard-earned savings. And for most South Africans, that is their only savings. And so bearing that in mind, it keeps us honest in terms of whose money we're managing and who we're responsible to. And so the guidance is that, given that it's fairly long-term in private equity markets, our fund is generally about 10 years. And so we have to consider that that is quite long. It's a partnership. You've got to look at it like a marriage, I guess. And so we have to look at it in the context that it is a partnership and it's a long-term partnership. And so we have to be aligned in terms of ensuring that we return investors' money as and when they expect to exit. So the term, marriage is usually for better or for worse until death do us part. But here there's an existing period where it has to end. And so we need to make sure that when that time of exit comes, we have made good what we promised to our investors. So when we founded our business, we had to understand the lay of the land in terms of where we would raise money from. And so being in the institutional investment industry, we had to go back and understand who are the largest asset allocators, who are the largest asset owners, who are the medium-sized and smaller funds, and have a strategy around how we would target those. So our starting point was we went to see them to explain our proposition, or at least to pitch our proposition. We felt like we had the most amazing solution, never been seen before, and to convince investors sometimes in a new area can take some time. And so I think the lesson learned there is that sometimes when you're a first, you do take time to teach and to get investors comfortable. And so you have to have the perseverance and the patience to continue to fundraise. I think fundraising is an ongoing effort by the team for any entrepreneurial business. You may have the brightest ideas, but without the funding, you're not going to get anywhere. And so we continue to make sure that our strategy looks at various networks, including the actual asset owners themselves. Our next stage was to look at all the asset owners, to look at large pension funds, medium-sized pension fund, and smaller pension funds. So our strategy was really to target various sectors of that market. And so we did so, and to be honest, it felt longer than what we had initially anticipated. When you're fundraising and you don't close any clients, it's actually quite distracting and disheartening. But the moment you get that one client that believes in you, it kind of gets the juices flowing again and the motivation going, and you keep going. And I think perseverance and also just ensuring that you are tapping into all your networks. Sometimes your industry experience and the network that you have, it's actually like your black book, it's your gold, it's your pots that you need to tap into to ensure that you are reaching different market players and people that could potentially be funders and connect you to those that can potentially be the right funders for your business. So the main reasons we've come across for not funding certain entrepreneurs, one is if there isn't an alignment of strategy and the entrepreneur is not seeing our potential value add, that could be a deterrent. The other is not having or seeing a clear exit path. You must remember that when we go into these investments, we need to know what the exit looks like. And so we walk in there knowing that there is a term by which we need to have exited this investment, and so we need to see a clear exit path. Price can be an issue. There's always obviously a subjective view by the entrepreneur, and also there's the view by the, let's say, the private equity practitioner or whoever it may be, or the investor. And so it's finding of minds and understanding and aligning of interest. So where there isn't really alignment of interest, sometimes that's kind of where it falls apart. I think entrepreneurs need to look at private equity investors as potential partners. I think I spoke about partnership previously. It's important to know and to have that alignment of interest. The entrepreneur will always remain the entrepreneur, and he or she and their team know their business and they know their business well. But the private equity practitioners bring in a different aspect, a different network, a different skill set to the business, and in a lot of cases, a better governance structure. So I think we need to look at private equity practitioners with the value add that they may bring to the business. And in most cases, some of them are entrepreneurs themselves. And so they know what it's like to be an entrepreneur. They know how hard it is that you've worked in your business to take it to the next level. And so a partnership thinking and view of private equity may be one that could convince entrepreneurs that, you know, there's an alignment of interest. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so in the context of considering private equity as a potential investor in your business and growth partner, you know, there's also something that I saw recently by James Clear that says, many people wish they'd started earlier. And so nobody ever says, I wish I'd started later. So go ahead, get started, and thrive in your business.